Last time, we talked about the challenges of recording real acoustic drums in a home studio. The biggest problem? Volume.
Welcome to Sound Better Slider.
So what's the solution? Virtual drums. We're talking about electronic drum kits paired with software like Superior Drummer, Slate Drums, Get Good Drums, Addictive Drums, many others. They give you the feel of actually playing drums, but with the flexibility of sound from high-end recording studios that are pre-recorded samples, and without waking up the neighborhood. At the heart of this setup is your electronic kit. Think of it less like a traditional instrument, more like a MIDI controller built for drummers. Every pad, cymbal, or kick pedal sends a MIDI signal to your computer, which triggers drum samples inside your software. That means your hardware isn't what determines the sound, the software does. So a $500 E-kit triggering a world-class sample library can sound like a $10,000 studio recording. On the software side, there's a ton of choice. I personally use Superior Drummer, Slate Drums, and sometimes the built-in drums in Logic. Each one comes with beautifully recorded kits, different room sounds, and complete mic setups modeled after real studio recordings. And the beauty of it all is variety. With one E-kit, you can jump from a jazzy brush kit to a massive metal setup. No mics to move, no drum heads to change, no soundproofing headaches. Pros and cons. The pros are pretty clear. It's going to be super quiet, so if you're in an apartment or a bedroom, no big deal. You're going to have access to world-class drum sounds and instant tone changes. The editing is easy since everything's MIDI, but also since it's MIDI, electronic drum kits never exactly feel like acoustic drums. And playing those MIDI notes in, you're going to get extra vibrations. It may need some cleanup editing, and sometimes the exact velocity that a drummer would play on an acoustic kit doesn't translate perfectly to the MIDI kit. So you either have to adjust your playing by maybe playing a little less intensely or adjust the MIDI data afterwards. Hi-hats and cymbals can be tough to get right. Some people prefer to pair drum triggers for kick, snare, and toms, and then use real cymbals for hi-hats and crash and ride cymbals. You'll need a powerful computer, at least enough to run plugins with low latency and a lot of RAM to load up those samples. Here's where things get interesting. Every E-kit brand maps their pads to different MIDI notes. So your kick might trigger correctly, but suddenly your toms are cowbells. We don't want that. So we want to either remap or use a predetermined MIDI map, hopefully one that's available within your virtual drum plugin of choice. For example, when I'm using Superior Drummer and Roland drums, all of the Roland drum units are listed and I can pull up the correct map. Mixing your virtual drums. Most drum VSTs have their own built-in mixers, complete with EQ, compression, reverb, and routing. That's great for fast results and fast recall, but it can feel a little bit separate from the rest of your session. Plus, you won't have access to any aftermarket plugins that you've purchased, or even the stock plugins in your DAW. The good news is, if you really want to mix your virtual drums as if they were real drums in your full DAW setup, you can route things out, but that will take some extra time. And if you've built a stereo mix inside your plugin, it's going to be difficult to just quickly translate that out. You're basically going to have to rebuild your whole drum mix inside your DAW. So who are virtual drums really for? Producers working in tight spaces? Yes. Drummers recording at home without soundproofing? Possibly. Songwriters who want flexibility and fast results? Definitely. Virtual drums won't completely replace the vibe of a real acoustic kit in a real room, but they can get shockingly close, and for a lot of projects, they're fast, flexible, and more practical.
Please subscribe, it keeps the channel alive.
So whether you're a drummer who's just not ready for a full acoustic drum recording yet, or whether you're a songwriter or a producer who wants to be able to play drums somewhat naturalistically and still have the flexibility of MIDI editing, then virtual drum kits might be for you. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching Sound Better Slider, and this has been another episode of the playlist Studios with a Purpose. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Sign up for the newsletter. It's not spam, it's way, way better.